So today we're here again for a BNI interview. I'm with Bruce Grove. Bruce, what do you do and where do you work?
I work at Rhodes Warden Insurance, and we are an independent agency. And in the BNI group, I am the property and casualty insurance agent in the group. And property and casualty is basically homeowners and auto insurance. It could also be toys or RVs or ATVs, farm.
Great. So tell me about your coverage versus or your services versus other company services.
Okay. One of the ways in the insurance industry that we're different is there are two different options primarily for personal lines insurance. There's a direct writer or a captive agent. Those would be agents that basically represent one company. There's nothing wrong with them. They're good carriers. They're good guys, gals. As an independent, basically we represent a large number of different carriers. So when someone has a specific need, the insurance companies have an appetite for what they're most wanting or they're most competitive in. It could be a home in the country, it could be a family without teen drivers, and other companies are more competitive with older homes or families with teen drivers. And while one company has one option, we basically have a lot of different appetites, and we have basically more bullets in our belt to hopefully meet the needs of what that client needs to have protected.
Great. So let's talk about coverages.
Mm-hmm.
There's basic coverage, there's okay coverage, there's great coverage. You want to explain the difference?
Sure. So let's take auto insurance, for example. There's state minimums. Insurance is regulated by the states, so you could go from California to Oregon to Washington, and that state has decided what they believe is the minimum amount acceptable. In our agency, we won't even write the state minimum because we believe it's just not enough coverage to protect someone. You might spend $10 more and have double the coverage. And so once we sit down and educate folks and they see the different options, they many times find out, hey, I can have double the coverage and I'm spending less money for what I used to have. And that's positive. That's a good experience. Other types of coverage on homeowners would be replacement cost versus actual cash value. And basically, insurance carriers, if it's replacement costs, need to provide you back like kind of quality as to what you had before. You can save money a lot of different ways, but when you have a claim, you're not going to get probably what you expected or hoped for.
So we touched on this earlier. Some homeowners insurance may have limited coverage of personal property in the house. Others may have more. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. A lot of carriers, there's different types of homeowners policies, and many carriers have all carriers have internal limits. Maybe an internal limit on jewelry or on guns. A lot of those coverages might be $1,500 or $2,000. Another carrier that may have a very similar rate, they may have an appetite for homes in the country or in town. It could be a lot of different options. They may have $30,000 coverage versus $1,500, and the rates are literally the same. And so those are things from talking with our clients and understanding what's important to them that we're able to kind of discover. And many times that's enlightening to them. They had no idea they only had so little coverage, or that they could have much more, and it's no additional cost many times.
And in my business, because I do mortgages, oftentimes I'm having the conversation that people need to go get homeowners insurance, and they will go to some cut rate company in order to cut costs. And I often have to say, well, you have to figure out what your coverages are. So is your role about educating?
I would say that's probably my key role. That's what I enjoy the most, and that's where I think most of the clients that I work with actually, if they give me feedback, it's on thanks so much for educating me. I learned more than I knew before, and it's a different world. I mean, nobody grows up wanting to read insurance policies, and so we can shed a little light, encourage them to ask questions, and we can always save them money. But there's a point where you want to be sure you're protecting their assets and their family versus just saving them a little bit of money.
I would think the hard part of realizing you're not adequately covered is after something happens.
It really is, and it's very sad. In my previous careers, I worked in positions. I was a disaster restoration contractor. I actually managed a trauma center, and I saw many times people not understand the coverages they didn't have, and that's actually what brought me back to insurance. I wanted to be on the other side of the desk and help families be sure they had what they needed for when unforeseen things happen, because we never think it's going to be us, but it happens, and I like to be able to prepare them for that.
How long does it take you to figure that out? If you were to sit down with a client today and say, let's look at your insurance coverages, how much time do you need to come up with a good answer to whether or not they're adequately covered, or you can help them save money?
Oh, I would say many times we could look at the policy and know right away someone was just trying to save them money, or they may have, for whatever time it was in life, they got online and they said, what's the lowest dollar? That's the answer for us. Now they're married, they've got kids, they're in a different place, and they want to solve that. They just might not know how. So it could be from 5 minutes to identifying, oh, yeah, we got some weaknesses here, to do it, that's discovering what they have, to get it right and kind of explore all their options. It might be 30 minutes, if we just have some good dialogue, and then what we're going to do is get to work and get in the system, and we could have a solution within 30 minutes.
Sounds good. So if somebody wants to reach you?
They can get me at Rhodes Warden Insurance. Our office number is 541-258-2131, rhodeswardenins.com, or they can get me online. They can look for Bruce Grove at Rhodes Insurance.
Great. Thanks, Bruce.